Continuing with the cross-section of the spinal cord, we're going to talk about the nerves now. So here, coming from the dorsal area of the cord, so from the dorsal horn of gray matter, we can see these little areas. These are the dorsal rootlets that would continue into this bulging area here, which is the dorsal root ganglion. A ganglion is a collection of nerve cell bodies in the peripheral nervous system. So this particular one would be the dorsal root ganglion. From that dorsal root ganglion until we get to the dorsal rootlets, this would represent the dorsal root of the spinal nerve, the dorsal root of the spinal nerve. And then anterior here, we have the anterior rootlets, or the ventral rootlets. This would go into the ventral root. And then here we have the ventral root and the dorsal root would merge together to form a spinal nerve. Now, when you talk about what type of information, sensory or afferent nerve fibers go through the dorsal root ganglion and the dorsal root. And if you remember in a previous video I did of the reflex arc, we talked about the sensory information, the neurons within the dorsal root ganglion. Those would be sensory neurons, which most of the sensory neurons in the body are unipolar neurons, would be the cell bodies of unipolar neurons would be found in the dorsal root ganglion. That carries sensory information into the cord. And then leaving the ventral roots, or ventral horn of gray matter into the ventral roots, we have motor output or efferent information that travel through a motor neuron, which most motor neurons in the body are multipolar neurons. And so you have the merger of the afferent neurons and the efferent neurons in the spinal nerve. So we would have both sensory and motor nerve fibers found within a peripheral nerve, a spinal nerve.